Hello there! Today I will show you how to make a nice, happy, not so dangerous ghost. Perfect for Halloween if you have children. Maybe sitting on a table with a small tea light inside it. Or whatever. So this is what it's going to look like, more or less. So the first thing you have to do when you start making a small ghost like this is you have to wedge your clay. The clay I use is a stoneware clay. You can of course also have an air dry clay if you want to, but I prefer to use stoneware because I can burn it in a kiln, and after that when I want to have a tea light inside of it, it's much safer than an air dry clay. And of course it holds much better. So I have already wedged this clay, and I will now cut a little bit of the clay from this side so you can see there's no air inside of it. I have a lot of grog in it, so it's you can see the small pieces of clay inside. And after that I just make it to a small bowl like this, and then I start pinching. I will make a small pinch pot, but turn it into a small ghost instead of a pot. So I just dip my thumb in water, a little bit of water on the outside, and then I take my thumb, push it into the clay and start turning the clay like this in my hand. I try to reach as deep as possible, and I try to feel how thick the clay is against my other hand with my thumb, like this. This way I know that I get the same thickness all the way through, from top to bottom of my ghost. Then it's time to start pulling the clay down. This way I get some height to my ghost. And as you can see, I turn the clay all the time in my hand. By squeezing this way, I can work on the rim and make it a little bit bigger, and that's good if you want actually to have a tea light fitting in there. Remember to make it bigger than you think, because the clay will shrink, and yeah, if it's too narrow you can't have a light inside of it, of course. So this is the shape. And I can also use my chipwood board to roll it against that for a while. This way I get the outside also perfect, like that. That's it. Now it's time to make the eyes, and I use this tool to cut with. There are many different tools that you can choose, of course, but I like these metal tools that you just turn around like this, because they eat themselves inside and makes a really nice mark like that. So that's the first one. And the second one. Here we go. The eyes. I want to make a mouth too, and I could of course make a round mouth, or yeah, it's all up to you actually, but I will just cut with my tool again. So a happy ghost, like that, and then I'll take a little bit from that side too. Here we go. That's it. Now, as you can see, the edges are a little bit rough still, but just leave the clay to dry and you can smoothen everything out afterwards instead of trying to do it now. It's much easier afterwards. Next up are the arms, or the hands. So a piece of clay, I roll out a small coil, like that, and again I cut it in 2 pieces and try to get the same length. So now I have 2 arms. On this ghost you see that I made fingers. I am not going to make fingers on this one. He's going to have gloves. So I just push one of the edges like this, make it a little bit rounder, and then with my thumb I squeeze a little bit so that I can make one thumb like that and the hand. Really simple. So that's one hand now. And then I roll the clay like this. So here's one glove. You can see the thumb and the hand. And that's the arm. Now this is the right arm. I want to make, of course, a left one too. So it's time to make the thumb sit on the other side of this one. Again, just squeeze, place it where you want it, and when you are happy with that, just roll the clay so that it gets like that. So 2 hands. There we go. That's it. Now I want to attach them to the body, but I don't want them to stick out like that. I want them to be a little bit upside. So I need to cut in an angle like this. This way I can attach them so. And of course I need to do it the other way around with the other hand. So I cut that one like so. Here we go. 2 arms sticking out like that. I use water instead of slip this time because my clay is so wet still, so it's really easy to work up this glue, the slip, and I just attach it like that and then use my fingers to secure it to the body. Same thing, the other arm. Put it in the right spot like that and secure it. And then of course you can use tools if you want to, if it's hard to reach with your fingers to all of the different places on your ghost. Now I want to drape it a little bit with clay so it looks like it has a sheet on itself. So I will just attach some pieces of clay like this to this ghost, and then I might use some bigger pieces of clay actually. Let's see, now I got two pieces. This way I can attach it so and so, and this will look like it has the sheet on itself. Some water. Here we go. Now this also secures the arms more to the body, actually, if you do it like this. And now I can use my tool again.
It's time to interrupt myself. I can also make a ghost with arms like this. Instead of just using a piece of clay under the arm, I can roll out a small slab, cut it into 2 pieces, and drape the arms with that. That's also one possibility. You can of course do many other things and many designs to your ghost. This is just 2 examples of what you can do. And remember, if you want to use a tea light inside, you of course need to poke holes through the whole piece of clay, for instance in the eyes and the mouth, otherwise it won't shine. So remember that.
Here we go. And now it's time to leave this just to dry. Of course I need to refine it a little bit more because I couldn't see it from the front. That's it. Be quiet. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.